So I tried to. One thing I felt like I had going for me, my background in knowing this subject, and then also like, so I know how. At that point, I'm teaching. You have some information and you're giving it to someone else. So yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I can stumble on
Great.
You know, we're like I was saying to someone else, we'll work through the bugs.
Yeah.
But thankfully the program's been around.
Dan about
You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray.
Rotarians. Do we have any guests of Rotarians? Over here, Josh, Mike, Chris, Mike.
Today we have with us Dan Hockett. He's one of our longest standing employees at Janky. That's what I do. And he might be coming to a few more meetings, so welcome Dan.
Any other guests? Back to the room.
We have Mike Brooks here, and he is the father of our speaker today. One of our
Part of the program.
We also have with us today Teresa Pugh from Habitat for Humanity. She's part of the program with these geometry guys to kind of get a cohabitation going with the project.
Welcome, Teresa. Yes. All right. So for people in the room, pay close attention. These are placards that are going to be on the table starting next week. You need to know which team you're in and then sit at the table that says your team name. We're going to be doing this for a few weeks as part of building up for Rotary. You might even meet somebody you didn't even know that was in our Rotary. They might be on your team for that month. Don't tell us what might happen. We had a thank you note that came in from the band for the appreciation for the $2,500 that we contributed for their uniforms. So we had a nice announcement there. Don't forget, Raise the Barn, 22nd of this month. There should be some cards on the table. Should also be on your table another announcement for a new member. Is this our first or second week? First week. So that'll be on the table for 2 weeks. And then next week's meeting, we will be initiating 2 new members. They were met with by our membership committee this morning, and I think that all went well. Louis, right? Right. Next week, we get two new members. It would be awesome for our club, and we continue to grow. So at this point in time, I'm going to call Wes Allen up, and we have Students of the Month today.
Not as tall as Avery. So I am playing the role of Carrie Carlson because she's not physically with us today. And the one thing I can guarantee is I won't be as bubbly as Carrie. I can't pull that one off. But I am happy to be able to be the person to be able to tell you about our 2 selected Rotary Students of the Month. And so what I want to do is have both of them come on up now. So the 2 folks coming up to join me up front here are Kerrigan Ramadi and Cy Young. And let me tell you a little bit about these fine young ladies and gentlemen. So we'll start with Kerrigan because we always start with ladies first. Let me do this to you so I don't forget. So beyond being the best pet sitter known to mankind, because Kerrigan does that for my family. She is the daughter of John and Elizabeth Ramadi of Big Lake. She is the child of a military veteran, and Kerrigan has attended a total of 70 schools. And 7. I'm not sure if I say 70 on here. Just 7. We've been impressed. 7 schools and has lived overseas in Sicily, Italy. Kerrigan maintains a 4.0 GPA while being actively involved in Sedro Woolley High School. She's a member and current treasurer of the National Honor Society. Kerrigan participates in Varsity and Volunteerism Club, in which she has earned 2 letters. She is part of the Sedro Woolley High School Wind Ensemble Jazz Band and is a member of the saxophone quartet. Kerrigan was selected to participate in the San Juan Music Educators Association Honor Band for 2 consecutive years, where she placed second in the San Juan Music Educators Association's solo and ensemble competition. Along with her academic schedule, Kerrigan is also an athlete. She earned her varsity letter for 2 years in swimming, playing golf for 1 year, and was co-captain for junior varsity tennis. Last month, in November, Kerrigan received the Seroptimus Student of the Month award based on her well-rounded achievement and attitude concerning citizenship, school activities, and community service. Outside of school, Kerrigan participates in a community band called the Whatcom Wind Ensemble, or as she just told me until about a week ago, which is good. She's busy. I can attest to that. She volunteers at the library and was a Camp Orkila counselor. Kerrigan has also coached soccer for the Sedro Woolley Youth Soccer Association. For the past 7 months, Kerrigan has been employed as a lifeguard swim instructor at the Riverside Health Club. Kerrigan plans to attend a 4-year university and major in environmental or planetary sciences. Her future interests are to advocate against the maltreatment of marine mammals, that's a hard one to say, in captivity, and continue with her music. Congratulations to Kerrigan. Okay, let's rip off the Band-Aid for Cy here. There. Okay, our second person is Cy DeYoung. Cy is the son of Eric and Kyan DeYoung, also of Big Lake. It's kind of ironic. Kerrigan lives up the hill from me and Cy lives down the hill from me, so I get to see them all the time. It's fun. Cy maintains also a 4.0 GPA at Sedro Woolley High School while being actively involved at Sedro Woolley High School. He's a member of National Honor Society and the Varsity Volunteerism Club. Cy has been recognized for excellence by receiving 5 departments awards in math, science, English, world languages, and PE. Along with his academics, Cy has played 3 seasons of tennis, earning varsity letters in 2 of the years, 1 year of varsity football, 4 years of basketball, earning 3 varsity letters, 2 years of varsity soccer, and 1 year of track, in which he won 7th place in the high jump at state. Cy was awarded the Triple Threat Award from the high school athletic department for playing a sport for every season. By the end of Cy's high school career, he will have played 12 seasons of sports at Sedro Woolley High School. Outside of school, Cy has refereed youth basketball for middle school and under. During the summer, he works painting houses with his brother and also his dad. And in his spare time, Cy enjoys spending time at youth group and doing activities outdoors. Those activities include snowboarding, waterboarding.
Here we go.
Let's go wakeboarding. Mountain biking, hiking, and camping. We had Kerrigan with 70 schools, so we have to do waterboarding. Cy plans on attending a 4-year university to continue his education, and at this time he has been accepted to 9 different universities and will be deciding soon on which one will be the best fit for him. Congratulations to Cy. I'll part that I don't think either of them were excited about, even though they are 4.0 students. I don't know if talking in front of big groups is their specialty per se, but let's do it. So Kerrigan, come on up first and tell us about what's the plans post-high school for you.
So I'll probably go to the University of Portland or University of Washington. I haven't heard back from UW yet, but University of Portland offered a President's Scholarship, so that would make it a lot easier to go.
And then, is there anything that I missed in here that you wanted to highlight that you do at school, or the reason you love being at Sedro Woolley High School?
Well, listen, there's so much to do.
It's the best school.
Yes.
Is that
Best in the universe.
There you go.
Because there's so much to do, there's a lot of opportunities. And it's really
Great. Thank you, Kerrigan. Your folks are neighbors, Cy. So, Cy, tell us about plans after high school.
I haven't decided on which university I want to attend, but I've applied and been accepted to quite a few, so I'll make my decision soon.
Okay, so narrow down, which of the 9? You remember all 9? No, you don't remember all 9. You remember a couple of them?
Yeah.
Just so you can get a couple of cheers.
George Fox, SPU, WSU.
plans on what to major in or to while you go to one of those universities?
I haven't decided yet, but I have interest in engineering, maybe outside.
Wouldn't happen to be that your grandfather's a doctor? No. Okay. And then, what are your favorite things to do, or what makes Sedro Woolley a great place to be, and that you're happy you graduated high school?
Nothing really specific. Like the field.
Okay. All right. We need a big round of applause for our team. So, Karen, why don't you go first?
So I have my mom, Beth, she's a librarian, and my dad, John. Oh, Sam. My mom is a youth librarian at Mount Vernon City Library, and my dad works at Job Security. Right?
Yes, safety officer.
Safety officer.
Thank you, Karen. I want to go and introduce your parents and parents.
My mom's here. She's Diane Young. She's a substitute teacher. And my grandma is here. And my Chris Johnson. And my other grandparents are here. Don and Pat.
You got a camera?
Yes.
All right. Left, yeah. Right over to the left, guys. Little bit. This is for
Hold your thing. Look like the left.
T, where'd you leave this behind that? It's yours. It's got your name on it. Make sure you grab it at the end of the meeting. Are there any clubs, part of the club that need to meet after today? Crystal ball, auctions, anything that needs to be made an announcement about? All right, with that, we have a raffle.
We have a raffle.
Oh, you want to say?
Yes, we do.
On the back. First, you have Mike.
Okay, it's becoming that time of year. This is focused primarily for those of you that this is your first season that as we enter into our annual auction. So we ask that you pay attention. And all of you pay attention because it doesn't seem to work. Carl, what's the theme?
Repetition is the mother of retention.
Thank you very much. So for the next few months, you're going to get this spiel again and again. This is the Rotary donation slip. We ask that you complete it in as much detail as possible, putting the donor's name and address and information, the Rotarian's name and contact phone number, a somewhat detailed description of the item. Don't just put a framed picture. Put 12 by 16 chrome frame picture of roses or whatever. Be a little descriptive in that so as we catalog it, we can, and as we make out the slips, we can get things coordinated and in better detail. When you get an item from a sponsor, remove the pink slip, give that to them. Always, and I emphasize always, turn back to me the white and the yellow. That's it, Becky, you got it. Yeah. Do not separate the white and the yellow. Once we catalog it, give it a number. You can bring this with your item to me, or you can give me the paperwork without the item. We will catalog it and return the yellow slip to you to attach to that auction item. I know Rich has been asking for people to get things in now. Get them coming, get them coming. I am requesting if you have a semi-large item, not to turn it into me until early April. I am getting in somewhat limited space at work to do that. Things like the baskets and things that we have back here, smaller items, that's okay. But as we get into items that are gonna take up a few cubic feet of space, we ask that you hold those for a while. Any questions?
They can turn in the slip though, right?
They can turn in the slip. And how many, Carl?
2.
2 slips.
Or 3.
No,
It's okay to turn in the
no,
pink.
we don't take the pink.
Well, if you turn it in, you're not gonna give it back.
I know. If you have questions in regards to the procedure, give me a call. I'll be glad to run you through it.
Has everybody seen the card that's going around the tables to be signed for Eric Stendhal? Where's the card at right now? Is that right there? So have you guys had it at this table yet?
Yep.
Okay. So, back table, you guys need it. And the other thing that just came in is we just want to thank you, Rotary International, for giving money for their polio. And it looks like this. We'll be the PowerPoint for the next few weeks, so we'll take a picture of it because we contributed money again this year, and it's been a very successful project for Rotary on an international basis. Any other announcements that have slipped through the cracks? All right, Sergeant Arms. We have one of our new members doing Sergeant Arms this week.
All right, see how this goes. Start in the back here. A lot more people here today than I was expecting. So I'm going to ask a question. If you get the answer right, you do not have to pay. If you get it wrong, you have to pay $1. Almost a third of Americans say they overspent on this last month in December. What is it? It's a really good answer. Alcohol. So that's $1 from everybody. And if you personally spent money on alcohol last month, pay $1. Okay, almost 1 out of 10 Americans did this last year. What is it? 1 out of 10 Americans did this last year. What is it? Got married? Good? No. Kept their resolution the entire year. All right, follow up. If you did not keep your New Year's resolution last year for the whole year, pay $1. If you didn't make a resolution, pay $1. That's even worse. All right, group, here we go. A quarter of women said they wouldn't date a person because of this. What is it? Is that your answer? No, if the person is a Star Wars fan. So pay $1, and if you are a Star Wars fan, pay $1. All right, here we go. Around 1 out of 10 people say they've done this when people show up at their house unexpectedly. What is it? What's that? 1 out of 10 people say they've done this when people show up at their house unexpectedly. I'm going to actually give it to you. It's actually hide stuff in the bathtub. So if you've ever hidden stuff in a bathtub unexpectedly, pay $1. All right, table. Around 5% of people have never done this. What is it? Is that your answer? All right, 5% of people have never ordered takeout online. So if you order takeout online, pay $1. And that is the extent of my questions. So, any happy thoughts?
Terry's not here, I thought I'd better have 20 for our kids. Congratulations to all of you. I think I have 20 somewhere. I'll find it. And we have a new mayor. I'm happy about that. And I'm even happier about the city council endorsing the levy and bond for the school district.
I have a happy luck on behalf of the Crystal Ball Committee. You can see that we have over there and over here the trophies are returned so we can come up with a new winner. I want to make sure everybody remembers that Louis Requay got the worst score last year, so that's why he got this trophy. And also,
Take it outside, Bill.
we have the test scores from last year, which I will grade. We also have the new test format, and we're ready to go. The test will be on the 1st of February. $5 to participate. Bring your friends, bring your money.
Well, I'm pretty happy. Maybe I'm going to steal David's thunder a little bit, but David and I and Yuli have been coordinating, and I think we've come up with a auction artwork, and it's thanks to David, so I'm happy about that. Thank you, David. And the theme is Masquerade Ball, and I'm going to try to get Yuli and I to pose and post pictures on Facebook and show different masks, and my wife and model will be happy to help demonstrate what to wear, and I'll demonstrate maybe what not to wear.
Going to have $5. It's a lot of fun working on the auction theme, and it's coming together. It's always a lot of people working together to make it work out. I had $5 for all the kids here, the great opportunities they have. Beth and Michael are colleagues at the Mount Vernon City Library, so it's great seeing you here. And that's it.
Thanks, Bill. I've got a confession to make because for some reason I have a short-term memory. When people come in and saw that thing, they ask what it is, and I tell them, well, it's the first time I've ever won that. Then I got to looking at it when I picked it up to take it to Bill, and my name was on it for 2012. I don't know how the hell it got on there. But the actual thing is, I guess I won it twice in the 30-some years I've been here.
Okay, it is time for early leavers. We got a great program today on high school and geometry and participating with our community. And with that, Wes, we're going to call you up.
Hi, so we're, again, part of Sedro Woolley High School. I'm going to bring up Teresa and everybody, so I'm going to try to introduce everybody as we go forward with our presentation today. We're here to talk to you about a program we have at Sedro Woolley High School that's a partnership between Northwest Career Tech Academy, the Skills Center, which is down by the college, Sedro Woolley High School, and Habitat for Humanity. And it's a program called Geometry and Construction. And the people that are with me today to talk about the program are William Holt and Carson Rooks, who are two of our students in the program. Doug Pass, who's my math teacher in the program. Dan Caldwell, who's pushing the button and also the construction teacher in the program. And then Teresa Pugh, Director of Habitat for Humanity. And so we'll all have different parts as we go forward here. And there will be an opportunity at the end to ask us some questions in regard to the program. Dan, hit the button. So a little bit of history for you as we go forward. It's a program that started back in Colorado in 06, 07, so it's something that has a little fidelity. It's gone for quite a while. And back in Colorado, when they started it, they did the initial partnership both with Habitat for Humanity and a group called the Sunshine Organization that tried to create affordable housing for folks that couldn't afford housing. And the key that they wanted to do, the two gentlemen that started the program that were actually played the role of Dan and Doug as the math teacher and the instruction teacher, is they said, the math teacher said, I got a bunch of students that understand math really well, but don't understand where it fits. And then there was the math teacher also that had the students that didn't understand math, but they could go put something together like it was one out of style. And they knew that there was a connection there somewhere, and so they figured we got to put these two things together so that we can make it fit. So right now, currently, this type of program in different forms runs in about 150 high schools in the United States. So it's spread quite a bit all over the place. And we are only the second high school in the state of Washington that actually have a partnership with Habitat for Humanity to be able to get it going. And actually, the video, if we can get it running at the end, we'll knock on wood for that one, actually highlights the other school district that has a partnership with Habitat. So you actually be able to see kind of almost from a beginning to an end in a little 5-minute video clip. So hopefully that will run at the end and you can see what I mean about that one. And then last but not least, this is the second of 2 courses that we run at Sedro Woolley High School that are called contextualized learning, which means it's basically taking a career tech ed class, which as the career tech ed director, sorry, I know Wes Allen, assistant principal, CT director for the district. It takes a career tech ed class, like construction trades that Dan is the teacher for, and mixes it with a math class or a core academic subject matter class that Mr. Pass teaches. And gets students to be able to see the connection between those two things, to be able to create a better understanding. The first contextualized class that we have is actually called AMPed, which is Algebra and Manufacturing Engineering Design Processes. And it's a long thing, that's why we call it AMPed. And what they do in that class is it's algebra and engineering design, and they do everything from making t-shirts to doing signs to doing plaques to doing laser engraving. And it's a partnership between that and an algebra class, because you're solving for X when you're running a business, as many of you know in the room. So next slide, Ed. Well, benefits for our students. Again, it's talking about application of math skills. And so every day we talk about how this fits in the real world, which in a regular math class, well, Doug will talk about it. Even for the math teacher, sometimes they're like, yeah, you just kind of sometimes need to know that. And I can't see where it fits. But for a high school student that's maybe even struggling with mathematics, if you can tell them where it fits and why it's going to be important to them, then you have a little more of that buy-in about why they would want to actually take the class seriously. It's an opportunity to learn 21st century skills. Really, when it comes right down to it, we are preparing our students to be the best employees that you could possibly have. And to be successful, wage-earning, altruistic, amazing young ladies and gentlemen as we move forward. And some of those skills that we teach them, math, English, science, history, and that kind of stuff, are great. But they need to learn that other stuff like stick-to-itiveness, getting there on time, following through on task, all that kind of stuff. And some of those 21st century skills really come really forward in this program. It's a hands-on approach to doing things. So it's not just sitting in the 4-wall classroom with your book, doing assignment 3.1.4, and then turning it in at the end of the day. They'll talk about it later, I don't want to steal any of their thunder, but when you learn something one day, then you actually go out and you apply it the next. Or vice versa, sometimes you go and do something and then you come back in the classroom and make that connection to mathematics. It's opening, as you many know, we have a STEM push, science, technology, engineering, and math in Sedro Woolley and Skagit County for that matter, through our STEM network. And this is a class that actually is basically the whole enchilada of science, technology, engineering, and math, because everything the students do in this, it applies to it. And last but not least, I love high school students. This is my, I almost looked to Mr. Brockman because he was my first principal way back in the day. This is year, I want to say 19, I think, for me in education. And I love it to death. High school students I love them. I love them to death because having that aha moment where they like get something is amazing to see. But a lot of them, when you say the word altruistic, thinking outside themselves, they like their phone, they like their friends, but thinking about like another family that's going to be living in the house that they're building, and making that connection to like the real world, of thinking bigger than themselves for a little while, every opportunity that we can do that at the high school is a winning moment for us. And so that's really, again, in my opinion, one of the best parts of this program, is that they get to think bigger than themselves. Okay, so this is, I think, almost enough of me talking. Dan, hit the next button for me. Oh, one more talking of me talking. So this is almost into me, sorry. Just to get a little of the logistics of the program, we will break ground and start building a house next fall at the Beatty Street property, which for many of you know, that's right just the other side of the old railroad tracks from the high school. It used to be the old mill houses that are there just by Jameson, where they just busted through on the roundabout. And my geometry construction folks will build 2 to 3 days a week in the mornings for about 80 minutes of time. And then the skilled trades program from the skill center will come, and they'll build 5 days a week for about 2.5 hours a day to be able to keep things going. It's going to be benefiting the family, the community, and Teresa will talk a lot more about that when we have the habitat slide come up, about what that means in the habitat sense. Our construction lead, Pablo from Habitat, will be meeting with Dan and Mike, who is our construction person from Career Tech, and they'll be working as a team to be able to move through that process of actually building the house from foundation all the way to being done. And last but not least, it's going to begin, we'll do probably some foundation work over the summer and all that kind of fun stuff like that. But basically the goal is that we start in September and we're done in June. And we do a dedication in the summer. And you build a house a year. And you move forward. Because really the key is that we want the students to be able to see kind of the fruits of their labor and make that connection. So again, that's enough of me. Let's move on to the next slide. I think it's Teresa talking about habitats. And at this time, Carson and Will are going to hand around a nice brochure for you to take with you.
Thank you for having me. Yeah, we're really excited. We've been working with the school district for a while now, and we're excited that they wanted to partner up and bring the program on. So for us, our organization is all about the families, all about the community, and all about providing opportunities for the community. So it's just a win-win situation when we can bring students in. You think about, I was saying to the table earlier, for a student to come up here, how many of you would have actually came up here and talked in front of a group when you were a student at that age? So it's interesting to bring students into a program like this where they can actually work side by side as a team with their other classmates, actually get the hands-on experience, put it together. And then they'll also be working with our volunteers through Habitat as well as the homeowners that actually put sweat equity into their homes. So we're very excited about that. The property, as Wes mentioned, is just on the other side of the high school. There's 4 lots that we're purchasing currently. We demoed the 3 houses that were on there, so it's raw land right now. We'll be working with the city in permitting process and SOARs and everything, so we'll be ready to roll next fall. But definitely the homeowners, we ahead of time we select families. It's quite a process. They're low-income families that live in the area, and they work hard, but they just have not been able to save enough money to have a down payment for a house. And so these families are going to be working on those houses and working with the students, but we make it affordable. And so one of the families that are moving in there, actually, they've lived there, several of them lived in Sedro Woolley and went to high school their whole life. One of them, just by chance, we chose them before we bought the property and started this program. One of them, by the time we get started, their oldest son will be in high school, and so we're hoping that he actually gets to be a part of the program and physically work on his own house as well. So we're very excited. Ways that you guys can partner with us is if you want to volunteer, let me know. We are going to need some liaisons working with the school district and Habitat. Let me know. If you work in a company that wants to come out and volunteer, or if your company wants to sponsor, whether it's in-kind donations, we purchase the property. we pay for the development, we pay for the materials, and then we help coordinate it with the school district. So it's ramping our building process up, so we definitely would love support from the community, whether in kind, donations, business sponsorships, and or volunteers. But we're very excited, and this year they're starting this process, and they're actually hands-on. They'll be building some projects for the school district, and then next year they will be on site building the house. They'll start it in September, finish in June. There'll be some portions of the house that might need to be finished out in the summer, but then hopefully at the end of each summer we'll completely dedicate the house. So. Again, very excited about it. If you have any questions, give myself a call or give Wes or anyone from the school district.
Thank you, Teresa. Anyone have the next one? So as far as the skills center in the district, again, like I talked about, we're going to provide the students to do the lion's share of the building. There still will be the volunteers and the homeowners and so on and so forth that will be doing a lot of the building of the house. We're going to provide all of our tools and insurances and fun stuff like that, because it is our high school students that are doing the work on the facility. There will be the 2 construction teachers, one from the skills center, one here from Sedro Woolley High School, Dan, and then Doug Pass, my math teacher, and Corday would have that. And then again, really what we're trying to do is just making an amazing learning opportunity for our students as we go forward. And as Teresa said, this year it was unique. One of my other responsibilities, I get to serve on Teresa's executive board for Habitat, and one of the uniquenesses that you may have all dealt with here in beautiful Sedro Woolley and Skagit County is trying to find land that's affordable to be able to build houses. So again, our goal was to build a house this year, of course, but as things happen, we're going to start building a house next year. And so this year, as Teresa mentioned, we're doing some projects around the school to be able to improve the overall beauty of our school and some of our things that need to be addressed. And so as Will and Carson talk about their experience, they're not going to be able to talk about actually building the house per se at this point, but they're going to be talking about their experience and why it meshes with the math and the construction. So Dan, what's your next slide? First, I'll have Mr. Pass come up, because I forgot this slide was before the other slide, and talk about, Doug has been teaching now for a long time, let's say that, and teaches both the regular geometry class and the geometry and construction class. And so what I wanted him to give you an opportunity is to talk about, because all of us that sitting in here took a regular geometry class, I'm assuming at one point in our lives, and the differences between what this class is like and what a regular geometry class is like.
Thank you. One of the things that I struggle with in teaching is that I teach every day a regular geometry class, and kids go, why do I need to know this? I don't understand. And we just tell them by actually applying it in the class. And so the neatest thing about it is we do math every day. We have an A-B day schedule or a blue-white day schedule, and we do math every day. And kids engage in math when we do the construction part of the class, and they actually like it better that way, because they're like after to try to find it out, and that's what you need is the buy-in as a teacher, okay? And we get that every day. And the other cool thing is, I know Mr. Caldwell hasn't been taught how to teach math, but the kids ask him questions, and he goes, oh, come on. And he does it right there, and they go, wow, he knows math too, okay? And it's really cool, okay? So all in all, we have like 45 kids in class, and they're going at it every day, and that's the part I like the most.
Great, thank you, Doug. And the other person I want to bring up is Dan. Dan, I wanted him to bring brief history. Dan started in the district, how many years ago? About 7 years ago, and he started out working at one of our elementary schools in our behavior support room with elementary students, kindergarten through third grade. Yeah, so needless to say, he was larger than probably all of them combined in the room, helping them being, behaviorally appropriate. And then we found out that he wanted to come work at the high school, so we actually hired him as a security person for our high school, our security enhancement person, which he kind of fits the role a little bit better, in my opinion, size-wise. And but then what Dan came to me a couple years ago and said, hey, you know, I love being the security person in our school, but I really kind of want to teach. But I think he told me at that point, he actually has a degree in psychology, which you can tell. And so I said, hey, so let's figure out how to bring this program. And then his background actually, while he was in school and in high school and getting his degree and stuff, was actually doing construction. So I'm able to certify him to be able to be a construction trades teacher at the high school level. And so Dan's going to talk about bringing that real world into the classroom and what they see on a daily basis.
So my background in construction was I was in the Carpenters Union for a number of years between going to college for psychology. My father was in the Carpenters Union, now he's an independent contractor. So when Wes had mentioned he was going to a training seminar about this program, I was really interested. So luckily I was in the right place at the right time. But when we went to the training center, they showed us different assignments, different tests, and I did very well in school. I did very well in geometry, but it was a basic geometry class where here's the formula, here's the problem, that's kind of how you're solving it. Once I realized what the program was, and they give you a test, it made more sense to me, and I hope it makes more sense to the kids in that, well, here's your room, and you need to buy new carpet, so how much square footage do you need so you know how much carpet to buy, or siding, or roofing, or volume for concrete. And so for me, it made a lot more sense, and it was easier to make those connections. I actually just ran into a student who graduated a couple of years ago, and we were talking about what was going on. He's in the lineman's union, and I told him about the class. He was really excited. He said, why didn't they have that when I was there? It's like, so the kids are actually learning, stuff that they can use. And he talked about some classes where he learned some skills, but he said, I use geometry and algebra every single day, and he had wished that there was something like that it would have made the connection easier. So I feel that it's helping the kids make the connection of this is what you need to know, and here's why you need to know it, but they're also learning skills that they can use later on. Pouring concrete, framing walls, doing siding, all the things that we're doing, they can use those skills later on, whether they go into the trades or not, just doing home improvement, or if they go into carpentry or construction, they'll have a skill, not only in that, but it seems that they have a better understanding of the math, because the test scores have shown that they usually do better because they're able to make another connection. And the benefit of having two different teachers is we have two different perspectives. Maybe one kid isn't understanding the way that I'm approaching it, maybe Mr. Pass has a different way, and they'll understand that, and vice versa. So I'm very excited about the program. I wish it was something that had been available for me in school, so I think Sedro's very lucky that Mr. Allen's been able to really push this through and get everybody on board.
Thank you, Dan. Okay, so I saved the best for last because we want to make sure we have Carson and William come on up. And what I asked them to do when I met with them is just kind of talk about their experience and why this works for them. And the good thing is they both have two kind of polar opposite experience. You guys are polar opposite people. So, well, Carson will agree with that, yeah. But they have different reasons why this class works for them and why they chose to do it. So Carson will go first, or will William go first? You go first, okay, let Carson go first, yeah.
So I'm Carson, and so the reason I chose this class is because for my future career, I want to be in landscape design, but I feel like the construction has to do with building up the certain, how much of the area of certain land needs to have, say, a building on it, or this area needs to have plantation on it, but I wouldn't know that if I'm not in this class. So I feel like this class demonstrates the different ways of getting to know other people and their skills, but also being able to apply them to an everyday usage. And so being in this class, I learned that like just being in basic algebra or geometry is boring. This class you get to like teach others what you know and demonstrate them by showing them how you can do this when they can show you how they do that. And then you compare your ideas and then be able to combine them and demonstrate them on building a project. Like the project we're working on now is building sheds behind our home bleachers for storage for our athletics. And right now, well, the area that we were working on was building out, well, digging and filling base area so that when we filled it with gravel, and then we're going to be building up a platform, I would say, to fill it with concrete so that we can start building up the walls. But like being able to do that and working with others, you can see different ways of being able to demonstrate it on, yeah, that's all I can say.
Thanks, Chris.
Well, I'm not very good at math, you just say that now, but then I could apply. Then I could apply it and actually have it to work in the real world. Like I work at Trustco and I'm not allowed to build the trusses yet because I'm not 18. But after working in Pass's class and then going outside to apply all the knowledge I just learned in math, then I could apply it to all like the ground that we're digging up and building up for all the storage and stuff. It helped way more than just sitting in class wanting to fall asleep. We got some tiring classes. And then, pretty much, I'm sorry. But I was in landscaping last year, and all my classes were all boring last year until I was in landscaping, and I got more knowledge probably from landscaping and from my math classes, all of my English classes and all that. All of them, landscaping helped a lot. And then, so when I got into this class, I was pretty excited, but I didn't know we were going to have this class yet because I'm not very with the school. I just play football pretty much. And so I didn't know what the heck's going on, but my teacher, Miss Jones, I thank her because she knew about the class and she knew I don't like to pay attention in class very well. So she put me in this class knowing I'll do a lot better, and so far I feel like I'm doing pretty good. All right.
Thank you, Chris, so much. Now, the other unique part is that I got to talk to both of them yesterday in my office, that they freely admitted that, well, math, do you love it?
Kind of like
Kind of. Last year, did you kind of love it?
No.
No. And Carson, math? Love math?
I don't love it, but I'm good at it.
Don't love it, but I'm good at it. So the good part about this program is that it meets the needs of all of our students at the high school. And again, like Carson said, we do have some students, and Will, in his case too, I think he's planning on doing something hands-on once he gets out of high school. It is an opportunity for them to be able to apply things and move forward. So this is where we all get to cross our fingers that the video will work. So you click on it on the video. Okay. They were doing natural things.
Questions and answers.
Questions and answers, okay.
Q&A, because they're going to have questions for us.
All right.
Yes.
So we'll see if we can get them loaded up. Questions from the audience.
So is this natural class for credits, and if so, what kind of credits do students get for taking this class?
So what Will and Carson are getting is it's a class that meets on A day and B day. So it's full credit per semester. They get full credit of construction trades class, which is a career tech ed class, and a full credit of geometry. So they'll spend a lot of time, as much time as every other student doing math, and then they, like Mr. Bass says, they get to see them every day doing it.
It'd be nice if this was accredited towards college prep, say architects and engineers?
Yeah, and so we do have a connection with Skagit Valley College for a tech prep articulation. With this class that we're running, since it's dealing with a lot of it's sophomore juniors, it leads into that next class that can have that articulation piece. It's a skilled trades program through the Skills Center, and then we do have some classes still at the high school that have that tech prep articulation. Being that we're newer in the valley with doing this program, we're going to explore having that be an option for our students with the construction trades piece, but it's something that's evolving over time.
So this contextual learning seems so obvious. So is there going to be more and more of it? Is this the start of a trend, or what?
Well, I'll put my personal 2 cents into it. When I saw this, the two gentlemen from Colorado present back in 2005, when they were getting their idea going, when I saw it, it just made too much sense to me, kind of like I think what you're saying. And yeah, trying to make those connections is really the key. There are some schools, I got to visit one when I was back in Nashville at the National Association of Career Tech Educators Conference a couple months ago, where there is a school I got to visit that does this all day long with all of their classes. So every core class is matched with another supporting class to be able to, again, contextualize what the students are doing.
One thing that we're excited about is not only it's going to teach them the soft skills and hard skills that we all need when you're going into employment, but the conception, as you mentioned, is within school, but when they go out on site for a habitat volunteer, 16 and 17-year-olds can volunteer on the site, but because of Department of Labor and Industries, they can't use hand tools, they can't roll like 2 rungs of the ladder. But with this program, because we're partnering and they'll be within the school district's insurance, the students actually will be learning to use the power tools, the hand tools, and they will do the whole part of the construction. So hands-on experience is huge. I mean, how many of you, before we learned from our fathers or grandfathers how to work in the wood shop, that type, anything like that, where a lot of that's been taken away from the school districts, and so bringing it back in is going to be just an amazing experience, and we're looking to grow it as well.
The other thing I'll say, and this by the direction of Mr. Brockman and our school board, is that we're doing everything we can in Sedro Woolley School Districts to make partnerships with our business community and bring them as part of, because they're vital to our success as a high school. And working with Habitat and then making more, this brings us a lot of opportunities to be able to work with other businesses, even in very small ways, which is great. Other questions?
Let me thank you for a great program. And Wes, listen, this is from the World Universe Rotary Club, one of our pens, and all geometry goes better when you use that pen. I picked out a special one just for you.
Okay.
All right, thanks for the good program today. Thanks everybody for signing the card to Eric. How many of you noticed that we had a new projector? Yay. A little better visibility back there. Keep thinking about the auction. Thank you, Dan, for showing up today. You're always welcome. And did Mike leave here? And Teresa, thank you for being here again. And everybody have a great week.